Welcome everybody to Link Data. This session is part of the Alma 2024 Roadmap webinar series. This is Yoel Cortex, Senior Librarian at Ex Libris, and we're joined today also by Adina Marciano from Alma Product Management. Thank you for joining us, Adina. For those who may not know, let's just point out that we have a page here for the Alma 2024 Roadmap webinar series. I know that most of you, if not all of you, are familiar with this page because we saw that the registrations were coming from this page. Those of you viewing this via YouTube, if for whatever reason you are not familiar with this page, I'm sending this out in the chat to everyone now, and in YouTube, it will be in the description of the video. So this page, just as a little point of general knowledge, has all of the sessions that we're doing as part of the series, a link here to the YouTube playlist of all the recordings, all of the accompanying resources, and a link to each session separately here to view the recording in the recordings column. So let's just see in the large picture where we are now. We started this in February. It's now June. So back in February, we talked about the new bibliographic record and physical inventory retention options to be able to retain records, prevent them from being deleted. That's both on the inventory and the bibliographic level. Then we talked about fulfillment, personal delivery, pickup locations. We had guest speaker Moshe Schechter with us that day. Then in April, we moved on to the data visualization dashboards for physical books retention and physical books deselection. We skipped May due to holidays and the eLuna conference. And now we're in June 4th, with linked open data in Alma. So what we'll be discussing today, the linked data info card and contributor page. We'll be showing a live demo of that. We also have a PowerPoint, but we'll be showing that live. The linked data enrichment configuration, which allows institutions to determine which fields will and will not be included in the published file when using the general publishing profile, the on-the-fly conversion of Bibframe records to MARC, and using the Homosaurus vocabulary in both the Alma Refine Cloud app and in the linked data configuration. That Homosaurus was a very requested vocabulary, 351 votes you can see here in the ideas exchange, and we added that earlier in 2024 to the community zone, and now we've added it also for link data. So in fact, you can see it was added in, I believe it was January 2024. Here it is, January 2024. It's available in the CZ, and now it's also available as part of the entire link data picture. We're going to begin with a general overview of what we've got planned from Adina. Adina will be speaking about the Sinopia Link Data Editor, linking Bibframe records to the authorities. So you have a heading inside the Bibframe, and it's linked to a Library of Congress authority record, supporting the Bibframe records in the SRU, the link data APIs, and publishing Bibframe as Bibframe. So I'm going to turn this over to Adina for the general overview of what we've got planned, what's been done, and then we're going to see a live demo. So I will stop sharing here, and Adina, take it away. Okay, we see your screen, Adina. I don't know if you're talking, but we don't hear you. Oh, you're muted, I see. I will unmute you. Now you're unmuted, and now I hear you. All right. You seem to be muted again. Let me unmute you one more time. Don't touch it. I'll unmute you. You're unmuted.
Okay, can you hear me now?
I hear you loud and clear.
Okay, thank you. Sorry about that. Okay, so hi everybody. Thank you for joining. I'd like to. Okay, can you hear me now? Sorry.
Now I do again.
Okay, Here we go. So I'm going to just give a quick overview of what we've been doing with our focus group over the past year, what functionalities we have for Bibframe already in production, and a bit of on our future plans. So as I mentioned, our focus group, we are working on the 3 pillars of linked open data, better discoverability, collaborative cataloging, and global interoperability. And of course, at the base of all of this is our focus group and working with the community. And we couldn't do it without them. So I would like to take this opportunity to say thank you to our wonderful focus group members who have been working hard together with me over the past year to test and implement Bibframe into production with Alma. What have we been doing together as our focus group? So we have worked on the goal of having an end-to-end workflow functionality for Bibframe. Because regardless of the metadata format, we do need to make sure that Alma can still support all core functionalities that are needed in an ILS, again, regardless of the metadata format. And the workflow that we were testing was working in Sinopia, sending records to Alma via API, and testing them in Alma and in Primo. For those who are not familiar, Sinopia is an open source linked data editor developed as part of LD4, where there are templates that were created by the PCC. So our focus group members each chose a collection, a specific collection from their institution, and cataloged the records in Sinopia, sending the records to Alma, as I mentioned, through APIs. We have developed an integration. Thank you, Jim Han from UPenn, for helping us in developing this integration with our APIs, where the records can be sent by a click of a button. At this phase, it is still only available for focus group members, but we are working on enhancing and expanding this possibility in collaboration with LD4. Hopefully we have more updates on that further down the line. So our testing, as I mentioned, was working with Sinopia, learning how to catalog, learning Bibframe, learning the ontology, seeing how it works, and seeing that the core functionalities of any record created can still work in Alma and in Primo. A lot of it was also learning Sinopia, learning how to take Bibframe and Sinopia from theory to practice. A lot of configurations and fixings of templates, creating new templates for specific use cases. For example, NAL created templates for serials as that was their need. And we've been testing the records in Alma, seeing that Alma is production ready for Bibframe for works and instances. We have the functionalities of the existing functionalities working for Alma and Primo, whether it's expanding, supporting relations, adding fulfillment, field lines. We've demoed this in the past, and I suggest going back to looking at the previous presentations, and enhancing existing capabilities in a way that will help improve, take advantage of the Bibframe functionalities. For example, we've enhanced Ferber and deduping functionalities in Primo so that they can also be based on URIs that are part of the Bibframe record. So for example, you can dedupe based on a work URI, or you can use Ferberizing and create clusters based on a work URI or a hub URI that would be an expression of catalog for the work. And that way you would have better use of existing workflows when you're cataloging in Bibframe. So as I mentioned, all these functionalities have been released into production in May, and and documentation has been updated as well. And any institution who chooses to can send via API, can send Bibframe records into Alma. In addition to discussing and testing existing workflows, we also had many discussions on defining development for new features and functionalities. So for a brief overview of some of the functionalities that have been developed based on the focus group feedback for Bibframe records. We've had linking the records to authorities. We tested and integrated the ability to link to Library of Congress authorities, to medical libraries, to FAST, and additional authorities as well. So that way also Bibframe records can be searched by non-preferred terms. I will mention at this point, the preferred term correction is not functional for Bibframe because the Bibframe records are read-only in Alma, because we want to keep Sinopia as the original source, so that it's a caching of the record, and any editing and changing of the records happens in Sinopia. I will touch back on that in a few slides. In addition, we have better conversion to MARC. A lot of the workflows and functionalities in Alma are based on identifying the correct MARC fields. Again, Alma is a multi-format system, And we need to make sure the same functionalities work in a hybrid environment, meaning with Bibframe and Mark side by side. So we've improved the conversion of Mark to Mark and from Mark. The conversion is based on the Library of Congress converter, but we've made adaptations to fit Alma's workflows. In addition, the Bibframe records are searchable in our APIs and in our SRU. The SRU is an online ability to search for information in external systems, for information stored in Alma. And you can search for Bibframe, whether as a Bibframe record or converted and viewed as Mark. And this way we also support real-time information of holdings and items for Bibframe records for those who are not using Primo as their discovery system. As I mentioned, we also have full API support, meaning we can send, update, and delete Bibframe works and instances via API. And based on feedback from the focus group, we've also developed supporting publishing to OCLC at this phase as Mark, as part of the existing workflows. And also we've added or developing the ability to import Bibframe from OCLC. Importing a Mark record from OCLC, because OCLC is only working in Mark, and having it match and update identifiers into the Bibframe records as well. And this was based on a need from the focus group. We are still working on supporting publishing to OCLC Bibframe as Bibframe, although we already have developed the functionality, the basic functionality of publishing Bibframe as Bibframe as part of general publishing. In addition to the functionalities that have been developed for Bibframe, we also have the functionalities that have been developed for Mark records or for any metadata format. For the first one is the linked data enrichment configuration, which the first phase was released this May, allowing users to choose which authorities they enrich with URIs and into which subfields, and whether or not they want to have VF URIs added to the configuration, as an additional subfield one. This is available for Mark records, and in addition, we have the info cards and contributor pages, which are available for any record that is linked to authority. The cards themselves are based on Library of Congress and Wikidata, but they can be accessed also for additional authority files if they are part of VF. We've incorporated VF into Alma's database, using it as a mapping table to allow us to support and link between different authority files. And now I'd like to just talk quickly about what our next phase of supporting linked data and Bibframe in Alma is. So our next big development that we're working on right now is having a work search. Up until now, we've worked on supporting the same existing workflows for Bibframe instance, as an instance is similar to a Bib record, and those functionalities work. In addition, we are now adding a new search capability, which will be based on the new all title search, which will be available in November. And based on the same design, we will have a work search, which will allow our users to search for a work directly and not only through the instance, and view special sections that are relevant for the work only. For example, we will have a section of all the instances, as you can see here in this mockup, where you can view all the instances linked to a work. You can also have we'll also have a section of related works where you can view the different relation types and links to the related works. And we will also have bulk actions available for work. So at this phase, it will be a basic design, for example, adding all the instances to a collection or creating a set of all existing instances based on the work. This is the first phase, and based on focus group feedback, we will enhance and expand the functionalities available in the work search. In addition, I mentioned before our work with Sinopia, and we've learned a lot from working with Sinopia, and we're going to continue supporting our work with Sinopia. In addition, we're working in parallel to create a linked data editor, form editor in Alma. We are at the initial phases of creating a design for this editor, and we're basing it on an ontology, meaning that we want to take the ontology from an external source. That way it can be a base for supporting additional ontologies and not only Bibframe. The idea is to create a workflow, a better integration, a seamless integration inside Alma that will support different workflows as well, having it flexible, meaning we'll be building on some form of like Lego blocks components that can be reused as templates and expanded for additional use cases. And of course, as I mentioned before, right now, Bibframe records are not editable in Alma because we're working only in Sinopia. But the idea is to have the ability to edit records as well, and we'll be able to activate workflows like preferred term correction for Bibframe records once they are editable in Alma. And of course, the work on this form editor will be together with our community, with designs, understanding the ontology, creating validations, and of course getting feedback on workflows, mockups, and more. Unless there are any questions, I'm finished. I'm happy to receive emails if anybody has anything specific they would like to talk to me about.
There is a question there which I can show right now. The question was about searching the work via Alma or Primo, the answer being both, and we could show that real quick, and then I can move on to what I've got here, unless there's other questions there as well.
So just, I'm going to clarify, the work search will be part of Alma. In Primo, we have the option to Ferberize Bibframe records by the work URI. So essentially, it will already be clustered together. That is the first phase right now in terms of Primo. Primo right now is focused mostly on the next discovery experience, and once that has moved into production, there will be additional developments on Primo side for linked data. I see there are additional questions. Okay, yes, we're using VF. Okay, just a quick explanation. We are downloading the data from VF, using it as clusters to identify and map between different authorities. So that way, if we have an institution using GND authorities, but they want to view the info cards, they can still do it because we can map from the GND authority to the LC authority, and that way extract the information from Wikidata.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Adina. So I will share the screen, and we'll begin with the linked data info card. Anything else, Adina, before I move on?
It's all yours.
Okay. So just regarding that question about searching the, let me close that, about searching the Bibframe records. If I were to come here, I'm in the all titles search. By the way, I'm using the new all titles search because the linked data info card, which I'm going to be showing, is only in the linked in the new all titles search, and the new all titles search will be coming out shortly for everybody. So showing the new all titles search will make this relevant when anybody sees a recording in a few months. So, and many people are already using the new all title search in any case. If I come here and I do a record format search by LC Bibframe instance, just to see some examples. So let's take, for example, this gender gap, Bella Abzug's guide, etc. So I can search for that here in Alma and get results. And here, for example, I can view the record and I see my Library of Congress record, excuse me, my Bibframe instance record, and I can get an on-the-fly search, excuse me, an on-the-fly conversion to mark. For example, I've got gender gap in the subfield A, Bella Abzug's Guide to Political Power for American Woman in the subfield B. I've got Bella Abzug S in the 100. And all of this is my instance view. I can also view the work from here, by the way. All of this is converted from the Library of Congress Bibframe instance on the fly into that mark. Here's, for example, what went into the 245A, 245B, coming from the title, coming from the subtitle, etc. Also, when I'm in Primo here, I can also do this search. This is the Bibframe record, which we just saw in Alma, and I can view this here in Primo. So we showed this in the last session. I believe that was part of our 2023 roadmap webinar series, if I'm not mistaken. But you can see here also our Bibframe record in Primo. We searched for it. It appears like any other record we had shown in the 2023 roadmap webinar series, which is still on YouTube. That it supports all the regular workflows, ordering, loaning, making requests, etc. Okay, so without further ado, let's move on to our originally scheduled plans. So we're talking about the link data info card. On the page here of the webinar series, you've got a link here to the link data info card presentation. And I'm not going to show the PowerPoint right now. Maybe after I show the link data info card, I'll look at the PowerPoint, but you're all welcome to look at it on your own. So let's do a search here. I'll start with a search. For example, let's say I want creator, and I will say creator. I'll start with Gloria Steinem. And I've got my results here. I can switch in this new all title search. I can switch here, for example, to the split screen view or the list view. So I'm in the list view and I switch here to the split screen view. And here, for example, we have the 100 field, in this case, the 100 field with a link here says show info card. This is the link data info card. If I click here, we get a combination of information from both the Library of Congress name authorities and from Wikidata. We have, for example, the occupation, the birth date, death date when there is one, field of work, occupation, the source where it's coming from. We also have a link here to the Wikidata for this creator. So it jumps us right into Wikidata. We also have in the contributors section also links to the info card. So this is a contributor. This is from a 700 field, for example. If I come and I look at the bibliographic record here, I'm going to switch to bibliographic record. And here we've got a 700 field with Barris George. And that is linked to the Library of Congress name authority file. We're starting with the Library of Congress name authority file. The link data info card will only appear at the current stage if the heading is linked to the Library of Congress name authority file. However, plans are to extend that to additional authority files. So if I come to the contributors here, again, we have the link data info card bringing information from Library of Congress name authority file and from Wikidata with a link to the Wikidata. And we also have here generate a new search, which we'll talk about shortly. Let's take another example because I want to show more features which exist with another example. So we're going to go into Eiling Zhang. And here we are. So if we take, for example, this first record, Lust, Caution, the Story. So we've got here the link data info card for, oops, sorry about that. Let me close that. So we have the link data info card for the 100 field. And then if we come to the contributors, we have 4 more contributors. I'm going to take a little picture here and just put this on the side because we want to see what's happening here. So these are our contributors, which give us these links here to the link data info card. Let's just put this on the side now and come back here because I'm going to want to point to that without switching screens all around. So if we look at the bibliographic record, I'm going to click here, bibliographic record. We've got, in addition to the author, the 100 field, Eiling Zhang, we have James Shamus, Julia Lovell, and Lee Ang. So if we pop over here to the bibliographic record, we see that those are coming, Lovell, Julia, Lee Ang, and James Shamus, they're coming from a 7XX field, in this case, the 700 field. They are linked to a Library of Congress name authority file. We can see that they're linked to the Library of Congress name authority file either by coming in to edit the record, as we've always had, where from the metadata editor, we can click the binoculars, which are next to the heading, and see immediately what it's related to. So for example, if I take this Julia Lovell and I click Show Authority Record, I can see here that this is linked to a Library of Congress name authority file. I can also see that this is linked to a Library of Congress name authority file. I'm going to say hide metadata editor. From the contributors itself, we've also got that binoculars. And if I take, for example, Julia Lovell here, and I say view linked authority record in the sliding panel, so I see that that is linked to a Library of Congress names authority file. From here, we have the link data info card, like we saw before for the creator for the 1XX field. We're seeing it here for a 7XX field with the birth date, the death date, the occupation, the field of work, et cetera, et cetera. And we also have this generate new search and the view contributor page. So we're going to focus now on the view contributor page and the generate new search. Let's start with the View Contributor page. So when we access the View Contributor page, note that it's opening a sliding panel. Those of you who are familiar with other places where we've already moved to the new UI, such as the purchase order line task list, the holdings record search, the analytics objects list, and coming out very soon, the new UI for the managed patron services. In fact, we've got a session coming up on that also as part of this Alma 2024 Roadmap webinar series. So it opens up in a sliding panel, so I'm not losing my context of where I was. When I close it, I'm right back where I was. It's not bringing me to a whole new screen, and then I got to do a whole new search. Again, I'm going to the View Contributors page, and this is showing, first of all, information from the link data info card, which we already saw, and it's showing all of the records which this contributor has in our repository. And it's searching by the Library of Congress name identifier. And we'll see that shortly. And then from here, this is 1 through 5 of 11, and then I can switch to the next screen and to the next screen. From here, we can click on one, for example, the Opium War, and get more details. Note I'm still in the sliding panel, so I'm not losing my context. And again, I can come and do the info card here as well. Then I can close this one, and I'm back where I was. If we do the generate new search from the view contributor page, I'm going to open it up and now say generate new search. There's 3 places we can do the generate new search. This is one of them from the contributor page. I'm going to say generate new search. It's searching by the authority ID. Note up on top here, in fact, I'm going to copy this off to the side. It says here, let me copy that and put it somewhere else so that everybody can see that in a larger screen. I'll go into Word just so I can make it big. So it's searching by the Library of Congress ID, name authority ID, not by text. It's not taking the text and searching, which we know could give us some noise. And then it performed that additional search here. I'm still in the sliding panel, so I haven't lost the context of where I am. And I'm going to close this one now. We could also do a generate new search from here. This generate new search, however, brought me out on purpose, brought me out of where we were, and now I have a brand new search. If I want to go back to the search I was before, I need to do another search. So we have the search from the contributor page, and we've got the search from the contributors. I'm going to search again back to where we were for Eileen Zhang and come back to that lust caution record, back to the contributors. And we can also perform that generate new search from the link data info card. So I'm going to come here and say generate new search. And he also brings me to a brand new search. So we've got 3 places to perform that additional search. That's the real crawling or serendipitous searches of the linked data, where forget all the technical things. We want to aid the end user who is looking for data. So he or she comes along, finds a record searched by one contributor or searched by a title, comes out of the contributor and says, oh, I see that this contributor is appearing quite a bit. I want to see what this one has in the repository, and then can say view contributor page and see them and say generate new search and have a new search, or the generate new search here, or the generate new search from the linked data info card itself. If we come here and we look at the linked authority record, we see that this is the Library of Congress names and that it's this number here. This is the originating system ID. When we did generate new search, that's the very number it used here. If we come here to our Word document and we paste that right in, we'll see this is the one, same one, 2002-06-3651. So we can view the linked data info card for the author or the 1XX field and for the 7XX field, provided they are linked to a Library of Congress name authority file. We'll be extending that to other vocabularies in the future and perform a new search on any of the other contributors and view that additional information. We also have, as we've always had, from the action items, these 3 dots is called the action items, also the link here to the linked data, which gives us, in this case, subjects, creators, languages, etc. Depending on the record, there may be more or less. It depends on the record, but we still have the link which we had previously here to the linked data. This one's got a lot more, for example. And then we've also got still, let me close that sliding panel, still inside the metadata editor, we've got in the view related data, we've also got the view linked data, which opens up here as well. So that's the linked data info card. I'm just quickly going to go through this PowerPoint very quickly because I know everybody knows how to read and we already saw it, but just to make sure we covered everything, just to summarize more or less. So November 2024, it's scheduled for the general availability. It's already in the sneak preview. August for the early access. It's part of this new all title search. This presentation shows the new all title search and the linked data info card. We have a separate session, by the way, on the all title search on September 4th. So September 4th, we'll talk specifically about the all title search. Now we're only mentioning the all title search in the context of the linked data info card. So I'm just going to jump right to the linked data info card section of this presentation, which is right here. So we saw that we can get it from both the summary section and the contributor section. At the current time, it's working for headings linked to the Library of Congress names authority vocabulary, and we'll be expanding that to other vocabularies in the future. This is an example. We actually looked at this example as well. We have 2 headings which are linked to the Library of Congress names authority file. We have the link here in the summary section. We also have the links here in the contributors section. When we hover over one of those headings, we have the pop-up text show the info card. Info card brings us the information from both Wikidata and the LC names. We can click right into the Wikidata. We can view the contributor page showing all of those records which this contributor, all the works of this contributor in our repository. We can also generate the new search. When we do the generate new search, it searches by the Library of Congress Authority ID, not by a free text. We can also link from the contributor section directly to the authority record, which is linked to the heading. So we have a lot more to cover. That covers everything on the linked data info card. Let's just see if there's any questions or comments specifically on the linked data info card. Perhaps, Adina, you already covered them all, but let's take a look at the chat. Is there anything outstanding, or have you covered everything?
I haven't covered everything. There are quite a few questions. One
Okay, someone
about
says if we don't have an internal authority leakage in Alma, but we added a URI, will the contributor page be built? No, it needs a link to the authority file.
I will just mention there is the option for ID-based linking in Alma. If needed, you can have, if you cover your institution's records with URIs, again, you can use the URI enrichment. The second phase will be having records, URIs added permanently to the records that later on we will be able to support ID-based linking. So there is a workflow that can be followed and developed and adopted in order to support the linkage to the authority through the URI.
Okay. And does the linked data panel get serialized in the JSON LD API from Alma? I'll let you take that one, Adina.
Currently, it's
Serialized.
okay. It's currently not available in the APIs.
Okay.
It will be. It might be. I'm sorry, I can't answer this for sure, but there can theoretically be an option to make it available in API via Primos on the or Alma's APIs actually, but at the moment it is not.
Okay. Okay, so let's return to our regularly scheduled program, and the next topic here, June 4th we are today, is the link data enrichment configuration. So again, there's a PowerPoint. We only have 23 more minutes, so let's skip the PowerPoint and you can look on your own. I'm not even going to say, I'll just look at it briefly. We're going to skip it. So there's a new table, linked data enrichment, that allows institutions to determine which vocabularies will and will not be published or be included in the published file of the general publishing profile when the linked data option is used. We're going to show an example of that. And also to say which subfield should the URI be put into, 0 or 1, and if VIAF should also be included. So what we're going to do now, the plan, is we're going to make a set of records, which will include some of these authors we just looked at, Gloria Steinem, Eileen Zhang, maybe we'll take a few more. And then we're going to, oh, and also Homosaurus, records which include the Homosaurus, which we saw there were 351 votes for in Ideas Exchange. Then we're going to look at the linked data enrichment configuration table, and then we're going to publish it. So here we go. Let's get rid of these. I'll release these records. So let's do a search here just so I can make a set. So I'm going to start with authority vocabulary contains phrase Homosaurus. Let's just start with that. Oh, I think I got to do homoit. Okay, yeah, I got to do homoit. It takes whatever's in subfield 2 when my second indicator is 7. Okay. Nice. Okay, so let's add some more to that. And we'll say, give me also where creator contains keywords Gloria Steinem. And let's also take where creator is Eileen Zhang. And we got another nice one here called Jimmy. He's a children's book, creator. He's a children's book illustrator from Taiwan. Okay, that should be enough for our set. And of course, I'll change my Boolean operator to or. This is, by the way, another nice feature of the alt title search, this this beautiful search option here. So now we'll say search. We'll save this as a set. And 49 records. So that'll be a fast one. We'll say create set, and I'll call this linked open data roadmap webinar series 2024-0604. So we know this is ours. Then I won't make this private and save. So now we have a set. Let's now look at that new table that we were talking about, the linked data enrichment. So I'm going to come to the configuration here and to resources, and under general, we have linked data enrichment configuration. And there's two options here, one for names and one for subjects. Let's start with the names. So in the names here, let's take Library of Congress names, for example. So I'm saying here, Library of Congress names is coming from ID Loc. Everything you're seeing on the screen right now is out of the box for these names. That's what you get, and you can either disable it or enable it. You can also add another one. And so that's coming from ID Loc Gov authorities names, and we're putting it into subfield 0 here for the URI, and we're including VIAF links. Then, so there's nothing for me to customize here, so I'll get out. I didn't change anything. Then we have also for subjects. Now subjects here, I added one here called Homoit. That's the Homosaurus that got the 351 votes. So again, there's a PowerPoint here on how to add Homosaurus to the linked data enrichment configuration. Basically, it's clicking add row, putting in your authority source code, which in this case is going to be Homoit, putting in your authority URI, which is going to be this one here. Yep, that one there, and whatever subfield you want. So that I've already done. And therefore, I've got this last line here. In fact, we did this live on the spot. If any of you were present at the linked data session of the eLuna Knowledge Days, someone asked, can we add Homosaurus? And on the spot, we added this. So let's, now that we have this table and we've explained it, let's make a publishing profile, publish it, and take a look at the results. I've got already a lot of examples here, but I want on purpose to, I've got all these files here from the FTP server, but I want on purpose to show this live. So we'll come to resources and publishing profiles. I don't want to be in configuration. Okay, resources, publishing profiles. Let's make a brand new one. Okay, so we'll say add profile, general profile. I'll call it the same name as the set, so we'll easily identify it. We'll choose our set. Here it is, linked open data roadmap webinar series. Bibliographic level, FTP, we'll send it to an FTP server. We'll pop into the FTP server, bring it to the PC and take a look. I'll send it to my Ex Libris secure FTP server. I'll send it to a subdirectory called RWS. That's Roadmap Webinar Series. I'll give it a file name prefix. Also WRS. Okay. And that should suffice for this page. We don't want to go into the details of the publishing profiles. Our point is on the next page where we're choosing linked data enrichment. So it'll include the linked data using that table. Nothing's hard-coded. You can determine what subfield you want it to go to, which vocabularies you want, and even add new vocabularies. Fully open. And we'll say save, and we'll say publish. So let me go get that. It includes RWS, and I'll say run. Okay, so that's going to publish everything in the set because it's the first time I'm publishing. Let's now head over to the secure FTP server. So I'm in FileZilla, but of course this can be from anywhere, and we're popping in here. I will also stay in this directory so we can put it right in there. Okay, we'll head over to production. Here's my new one, RWS 5:45 and 20 seconds. That's my local time, just created right now on June 4th. Let's go in there. Here's my file. And let's bring that to the PC. I'm going to drop it right here. And then we'll untar it, unzip it, open it, and see what we've got. So where is it? Here it is, RWS. That's my tar GZ, which a second ago was just a set in Alma. Right click, let's extract that here, and then we'll extract the tar here. And let's open her up. Okay. So what do we got here? Let's go look, for example, at Jimmy. So this is Jimmy Chain It. If we go look at Jimmy Chain It, so it's giving us this URL. And if we go into that URL, it brings us to this author in the Library of Congress. We've also got a link from there to the VIAF. We've got a link to the VIAF also in the publishing. Let's look at Eileen Zhang. So here's an example of the Eileen Zhang. Let's take a look here. So if we're publishing now our records to some local database or some regional database or some regional repository, we can include all of these links to the linked open data. And then that can be used for further crawling or serendipitous searches like we've already seen. So this is bringing me directly now to Eileen Zhang. Let's see what we've got here for the Homosaurus. So, for example, here we've got lesbian culture Homosaurus. So this should point me to the lesbian culture on the Homosaurus. And sure enough, it does. I've got my preferred term, my alternative term, broader terms, narrower terms, etc. Let's look at another example of that. For example, let's move down. So let's say we want this one here. Oh, this one is not a Homosaurus one. This one's a Homosaurus one. This is giving me, gay erotic art is giving me a link to the FAST, because that's also, let's look at that while we're here. That's also in our external configuration, in the configuration file. So that's bringing me to the FAST link data for the gay erotic art where I was, and it has the alternative labels, there's the broader, etc. But let's focus on one more example of the Homosaurus. So here we'll take this one here and pop right in here. And again, we've got narrower terms, broader terms, etc., bringing us directly there. Also, by the way, let me take this one here. So we've also got the links to the VIAF. For example, here's the Gloria Steinem. We had true for the include VIAF. So this is going to bring me directly to the VIAF. This is bringing right to the VIAF. And this, oh, where were we? I got too many things open here. This one, oh, it's way over here on the side. There we are. So this is including the Library of Congress and the VIAF. Why is that happening? Because when we went to our table, the linked data external configuration, let's go to configuration resources, we had said here in the linked data enrichment for the names, include VIAF links true. Therefore, we've got them both. So we've got the Library of Congress names, we've got the VIAF, and they're both in the subfield 0 because that's what we specified here, and that's what we specified here. So that's the publishing using this linked data enrichment. We saw that it works for names, and which we looked at the Library of Congress, and we saw that it works also for subjects. We looked at the Homosaurus, but we saw that there's many more. We actually also saw for the FAST.
Y'all, I just want to add one.
Sure, go right ahead.
You demonstrated how the URI enrichment configuration functions in the publishing, it functions as well as part of the APIs. So you can access URI enrichment also via API, and the configuration will affect that as well.
Okay, and moving along, we are at 5:50, so we're on time. We don't need to rush, but we don't want to waste our time. We never really waste our time. Are there any other questions or comments you want to highlight? I don't see any other chats here. All of that session on the linked data enrichment, and there's been no new chats. Very interesting. Everybody's still with us? Let's just get a little check that everyone still sees the screen and hears us. Just send in the chat. Okay, you are with us. Interesting. There were no questions or comments on that section, which is fine, but interesting. Just taking it all in. Yeah, okay, yeah. A lot to process, I guess. Okay, so now we're going to move on to, ooh, someone said it looks pretty cool. Yeah, it is pretty cool, actually. There's a lot of cool stuff here. And we're glad you think it's cool because we have fun and we want everyone else to have fun as well. We enjoy developing this and showing this, demoing it, and we want you to enjoy it as well. Okay, so because if we're not enjoying it, we may as well find another job, but we're not going to do that either. So let's get back to where we were. I'm going to the developers network. We're going to talk about the Alma Refine, which is a cloud app which allows for institutions to add URIs for linked data for a wide variety of vocabularies. And we're going to show it for the example of Homosaurus, simply because, as we saw, it was such a large, this is one of the highest. We've had higher than 351, but this is definitely up there. So we're using it with this example, but there are many more examples. In fact, if I come into the blog of the developers network and I were to just look for Homosaurus, I believe some of our staff has created for other vocabularies as well. For example, here it is for Homosaurus. If I say Alma Refine Cloud App, so we've got it for Homosaurus, Orchid, Wikidata, GND. We have it for more. These are simply blogs on how to do it. So let's take a look at the Homosaurus one. And let's come into Alma and let's get an example here. Everybody can read this on their own. So we're going to do it live. Okay. Now, so I need a record which has something linked to Homosaurus. So let's say I want title and I'll say lesbian erotic confessions, just simply because I know that one has links to Homosaurus. I could have also done that search I did before where we searched by the phrase of the authority vocabulary. So this one here, if we look at the bibliographic record, I don't even need to go into the metadata editor to do this, to look at the bibliographic record. I can come right here. By the way, while this isn't a session on the all title search, you'll agree with me that this is very nice, this viewing the bibliographic record where everything is color coded like you're in the metadata editor. The eye can quickly see the field in purple, the subfields in blue, the indicators in green, the text in regular black. In any case, so these three are linked to Homosaurus. This is the official code for Homosaurus. So we have sexual excitement, lesbian erotic art, and LGBTQ plus erotic literature. Now, while this is open, or while any record is open, it can also be a whole list of records. We're going to look at the Cloud app. So I'm going to come to the Cloud app. We access the Cloud apps from up here on top. And I don't see it here because with my resolution, I can't see all of the icons. But if I click these three dots here, I see the rest of them. Here's the Cloud apps. So now I see the Cloud apps, and it's suggesting for this page 3 different Cloud apps, one of them being the Alma Refine. Before I run the Alma Refine, I will, oh, it's actually asking to do on 2 records, refine the 2 records, because I have 2 open here. Because when I searched for lesbian erotic confessions, I didn't know there were 2 records with that in the title. Okay. In any case, before we actually run it, let's briefly look at the configuration here. So I like to make this larger by clicking these expand arrows when I do the configuration. Now we'll come to the 3 dots and the cogwheel. So these are the various refined services that exist. We're going to focus on Homosaurus. I'll click the Homosaurus, so that's my service URL, fine. That's my prefix. By the way, we don't need an integration profile for the Homosaurus. You can just run it like I am. Orchid, for example, on the other hand, there's also a blog for Orchid. Orchid in the Alma Refine does require a integration profile, but Homosaurus does not. So I'm going to change this actually. Go to subfield 0. And I'm saying if the 650, 655, or 670 has a subfield 2 with homo it, then choose it. So I'm going to save because I changed that subfield. I must have been playing around before with the subfield 1. So I will say save, and we're good. Now I will decrease this here, and let's run it. So I got my records on the screen, and I will say Cloud App, Alma Refine. I'm going to select the Refine service. I'll select the Homosaurus, begin refining, and there we go. So this is my first record here. This is the one we want to focus on. These are the 3 fields we saw had the link in the subfield 2 to Homosaurus. So I'll say I want LGBTQ plus erotic literature. I want lesbian erotic art. I want sexual excitement, and save. It's running and updating the record. Someone said there's no sound. Anyone else experiencing no sound? Adina, do you hear me?
I hear you loud and clear.
Great. So it must have been local. Other people are saying they hear me too. So person who doesn't have sound, it must be local on your end. Okay, so let's go see our record now. Back to bibliographic record, and this one here. Let's refresh. Bibliographic record. And there we go. So now we have these subfield zeros in here. They were added now by the Cloud Refine app. If I were to say edit record, for example, and I'll see here, I'm going to click the information. It was modified by me. I'm Alicia. Today at 16:57, that's my local time minus an hour because this is actually an Amsterdam environment. So it was updated right now. If I were to say view related data, view versions, I will see also that this previous one, if I view this previous one, it does not have it. So it was added right now, and I'm going to restore just so I have this back to the way it was. So that's using the Alma Refine Cloud app, in this case for Homosaurus, but like we saw, there are several other options as well. Okay, we have, by my estimation here, it's 59 and 22, so we have 38 seconds. Of course, we can spend a little more. I saw some chats came in. Have you handled them, Adina, or is there anything else outstanding here? Let's take a look.
I haven't answered, but there was one comment. What is the added benefit of having the URIs added to HomeWit headings if they are already linked to the authority records where the URI is also available? So there are 2 different use cases, I guess. If you want to have it linked to the HomeWit authority, you can have that. If you choose to just add the URI but link it to a different authority, depending on the use case. If you want to start preparing your records for conversion to Bibframe, then you want to have the URIs added to it in addition to the linking. I hope that answers your question. And Jim Han asked another question. What if we want to replace terms and not add URIs? I think the terms being updated would be more useful to users. So if you're referring to preferred term correction, that is an option if it's linked to the authority in the CZ and not adding the URIs. That's two different use cases, but they're both supported.
Okay, and that brings us to the end of the session. So thanks everyone for joining. By the way, those of you who are part of a network zone may be interested to know that tomorrow we're continuing our Alma Network Zone Consortia webinar series. Just giving a little plug for that tomorrow on the Automated Fulfillment Network and a Network Zone Consortia. And today's session, we will be posting to YouTube, and I will send out a message to the Alma list. It will be part of our playlist, and it will be on this page as well. So thanks everyone for joining, and we hope to see you in our next sessions. Have a nice day.